How's it going, everyone? As you guys know, I joined Bitcoin Magazine in the end of April. It's an exciting job to be at, but I want you guys to be at the Bitcoin conference. So make sure to get your tickets by going to b.tc/conference. That's b.tc/conference. Use the promo code YTMAG, as in YouTube Magazine, for 21% off. The best promo code in the business. Since I joined Bitcoin Magazine, I love working for a Bitcoin-only company. It's great to work with other like-minded Bitcoiners. Make sure that I can see you there with other great Bitcoiners such as Preston Pish, Stephen Livera, even President of El Salvador, Bukele, will be there for Bitcoin 2022. That is, go to b.tc/conference and use code YTMAG at checkout for 21% off your conference tickets. Hope to see you guys there. Have a good one. Need Bitcoin support? The pros at Coinbase Connect are here to help. Learn about self-custody, privacy, mining, lightning payments, and much more. Simply go to coinbase.com/connect and schedule a one-on-one video call with a Bitcoin pro. Take your knowledge to the next level by connecting with a pro on coinbase.com today. Please check out episode 41 with Adam O, aka Denver Bitcoin on Twitter, episode 46 with Hodl Tarantula, or episode 49 with Adam Meister. All are pros you can connect with at coinbase.com connect today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. My name is Chris Alemo, and I am an amateur investor. This podcast is my open source journal of everything I learn about investing and wealth management. I'm here to explore the key concepts, market dynamics, and investing strategies that will assist you on the path towards financial independence and financial literacy. My mission is to build us from amateurs to experts. All suggestions are my own, and I recommend that you should do your own research before taking any investment advice. See you in this week's episode. I hope you enjoy. Hey, everyone. How's it going? This is episode 63. I can't believe I'm already on 63 episodes. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter one. I didn't have time to get a guest this week. I kind of had a crazy week last week, and I'll get into it. Some of it was work related. Some of it was personal stuff back on the home front. But basically, I'll get into the stuff that happened at work. So last week, I am the producer for the Bitcoin Magazine live show. And we were live. Alex McShane's my host. McShane_writes is his handle on Twitter. And we were talking just about news, all things Bitcoin. Obviously, that's what we do. And in the midst of doing the live stream, Alex was talking about Kazakhstan and how they have, I guess they're one of the top 5 hash rates in the world, because as China banned mining, miners were looking to flee China and go to another country. Kazakhstan had what they thought was a favorable energy grid and or production and use, or a good spot to mine Bitcoin. So we were talking about it, and there's a lot of civil and political unrest there. So in the midst of the live stream, while we were live streaming for Bitcoin Magazine Live, all of a sudden YouTube starts acting really freaky. It says chat disconnected. And then all of a sudden it says like, I'm waiting a minute or two and thinking it's going to reconnect. And it's just weird. I'm seeing people still talking in the chat, but we as Bitcoin Magazine can't chat there. Then all of a sudden it goes to, like chat has been suspended. And then all of a sudden, like YouTube just like kicks us off. And this was over the course of a minute or two. And Alex was like wrapping up his segment anyway on the news. And, he's like, oh, we're going to a break real quick. So we go to a break, play the commercial, and I let Alex and my other host, Q, on there know like, hey, we just got kicked off YouTube. And then when I went to search on YouTube, the account was completely suspended, meaning like, we've never had a strike before on YouTube. The account was completely suspended. You couldn't even search for it. Like you search Bitcoin Magazine, none of our videos were there. Account fully terminated. No warnings. This is the first time it's ever happened. So it was pretty baffling to see our account just suspended, uprooted for no reason. And that was, we started the live stream at 1 like we normally do. And it was by like 1:30 that we got canceled. And so then we spent the preceding rest of the day trying to recover the account. Obviously, we have a pretty big following on Twitter. We rose hell there. Thank you to the Bitcoin plebs and a lot of people in the community that came to bat for us. And they were, basically saying this is ridiculous. Why are they taking Bitcoin Magazine off of it? And we weren't even saying, for a left or a right or red or blue or whatever. I don't even know the political parties that are in Kazakhstan. We were just kind of reporting the news, talking about Bitcoin miners. They're one of the biggest hash rates in the world outside of the US and Iran and I think a couple other countries, potentially even Canada as well. But yeah, they're definitely a top 5, if not their top 10 for hash rate. Because like I said, a lot of people from China, Bitcoin miners from China, fled there. So it was pretty crazy. And after, a heroic effort by everyone in the community raising hell on Twitter, we were able to get our account reinstated within 3 hours, which, like I said, is no small task. And I really appreciate and thank anyone and everyone that helped get us back online. Alex and I and a couple other people on the video team were definitely fearing our jobs if, YouTube, one of our main sources of revenue, or a big part of it, at least video content, what we do is native there and it gets a lot of traction. And we understand that you have to diversify against it, but just kind of showing that Bitcoin is resilient, but that does not mean the platforms that you use that are centralized. And this is, not even just to poke fun at centralized services such as governments, but centralized services such as Facebook, such as Amazon, such as Google, such as, any of these platforms. In this day and age, they did something that we had Jimmy Song on, and they did something that he said they made it addictive because they made it free. Oh, it's free to use Google Drive. Oh, it's free to use Google. Oh, it's free to do go on Facebook. Oh, it's free, but the cost is you're the product. And I know people have said that, and that's kind of hard to wrap your mind around. But what they do is they take your identifiers or whatever you are, and they sell ads based on who you are, what you like, what's your birthday, all these different things. They're basically taking your data and they're trying to manipulate you and change you or convince you to buy something or otherwise. It doesn't even have to be about buying something. It could be something political. It could be something ideological. And Jimmy Song on the live stream after we recovered the following day, we had an epic live stream with a bunch of great guests. All our guests are always great, but like I said, a lot of big names in the Bitcoin space that a lot of people know. And Jimmy says, he hopes in the next decade that we will make it so easy to use and so effortless that basically everyone's running their own node, Bitcoin node. And in turn, by running their own node, they'll be running their own server. That's basically what you do when you're running your node. You're verifying the blocks because you're running your own server and your own data and you're collecting it. And then through that, running your own server, you can host your own email. You can host your own, Mastodon, for example, Mastodon instance. So instead of using Twitter, you're using Mastodon. Maybe hopefully we'll get to a point where you're hosting your own video. So you're uploading all this video. And I know what you do and what we do now, like there's a lot of video, it's a lot of data, but hopefully in the future, data and storage space will become so cheap and easy that that'll just be the norm. And there's a lot of things that are inconvenient. Like when Google, it's all centralized, or any platform, they can help you search because they know what you like. So they see your habits and all those different things. So it's very interesting. Bitcoin's the fight of not just against fiat currencies, but they're against crony capitalism. That's kind of what we call it, or even just centralization of power. Bitcoin's always trying to decentralize. People are trying to centralize it, whether that's an exchange, whether it's a platform, whether that is a Bitcoin ETF, whether that is, they're always trying to centralize it one way or the other. It works best when it's under attack, and it works best as a peer-to-peer payment system. And there'll be layers built on top of that, such as Lightning or, Web3 that everyone keeps talking about. Web3 is going to be built on Bitcoin. So anyone that says that it's built on another platform or another cryptocurrency is really delusional. I'm willing to keep an open mind, but everything I keep seeing is centralized garbage, or it's owned by Azure or AWS. So it's like, oh yeah, like we run it. No, it's like, no, you're run by the masters such as Amazon or Google or Microsoft or any of those things that they centralize and they run their servers on. And they issue a token, which isn't Bitcoin, which doesn't have proof of work. It's proof of stake or whatever. And, I just really see Bitcoin as not only a problem just for preserving your wealth because people print money and there's no cost to do that, but also, all these big internet companies take your data for free, so they're giving it to you for free. They print money for free. They do all these things for free, but free always has a cost, and people don't realize that. We're seeing that, ever more. And, I will say that while I don't agree with like silencing or censoring people on Twitter or YouTube or Google, I do understand the rules of the game. It's technically their platform. They can do whatever they want. If they see Bitcoin Magazine or anything as a threat, it's via their means and their terms of service. to remove that content. And I get that. I guess there is some stipulation or they play a fine line of using section 230, which basically says that internet providers or sites are not publishers, meaning that if they're a publisher, they could be sued for writing an article that could be harmful to public health or to any one person's. Where if you're on a platform, let's just say you post a video of doing something egregious, or you post something like I were to post someone's address and say, oh, we should go to their house and we should rough them up. By doing so, I can't fault Twitter if I were to do that on Twitter or Google or Amazon or Facebook, whatever it is, to post that information. If I were to post that, they cannot be held liable. It is in my interest or my spot that they hold against it. So basically they can't be held liable, but then they play a fine line because then they can also take content down and they can censor content, or they could shape content, or they can put warnings on it. So it's like you're not a publisher, but then you're editing content or you're changing content, you're putting warnings on content. So they play a fine line, and they keep going to bat. They have some of the best lawyers that money has to offer because they're so high valued companies that they can fight these and say, oh, we're not a publisher, in this instance, but then we're an internet company in this instance. So they get to play both sides of the fence. And, for better or worse, that's what they do. But this episode's about Bitcoin, not shitcoins. So I know it's going to be a shorter one, like I said, but that was kind of our scare. Luckily, we were able to come back, and, they realized it was a mistake. It was just an algorithm. It wasn't, I don't believe it was any one person saying Bitcoin Magazine and banning the account right off the bat. I think with Alex McShane saying Kazakhstan a couple times in succession and violence and uprising, it just kind of picked up in the algorithm that it assumed we were trying to incite violence or trying to promote doing something, a violent act. I'm not quite sure. I don't think I'll ever get that answer. But yeah, we were able to reinstate our account, and we are trying our best to diversify against it. I mean, we have a couple other platforms, but we, aside from just YouTube, such as Bitcoin TV, such as Twitter, also such as Twitch. I know there's centralized platforms, and exactly that. We are definitely trying to look to build out something else that's not centralized. As you can kind of see right now, people got all pissed with Twitter for a couple things that they've done very recently, and people were trying to go to Getter. But then I know people have been testing out Getter, and then there's certain tweets that they can't post, even though they claim they're not about, we're not about censorship. We're not going to do that. But if you want to post curse words or various things, those get blocked, or those are prevented from tweeting or saying those things. So when you look at the mass of all the people that are on Twitter, yeah, you can move to Getter, but then Getter runs into the same issues that Twitter would run into its infancy or its early days. They claim that they're not going to do this, and then just keep centralizing and centralizing and centralizing. And now, they're using those, or they're banning people, and they're doing things, and they're changing their terms of service, and they keep narrowing it and they keep saying it for the right to protect people. But it's just insane. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on that. I'm glad our account's up and running, and definitely check out our live stream. But yeah, I mean, here's a couple things just recently that I thought were really, really funny. So here's the first post. I'm going to share my screen right now. So if you're listening on, YouTube, you can see my screen, but I'll describe it for people. So on the screen that I'm sharing right now, we are showing NVK, or the guy who created the cold card. He's basically, he has a video clip. I'm not going to play it just to save time. But I know this guy's a multi-millionaire or even a billionaire. I'm not quite sure. It's an Italian dude. I forget his name. He's always having a blast, having fun on his yacht and just kind of doing things. I think he was in like e-commerce or sales or something. And he's saying, oh, I've joined team leafy.net or leafy crypto or whatever it is. He says it's the first cryptocurrency that really cares about the environment and is completely green. And, I even tweeted back and in response, I know NVK was saying like, this is, he said, well, clearly we have not found the bottom for this cycle yet. So I said, this is the first cryptocurrency designed to help our planet by enriching our VCs. I mean, saving the planet, the trees, and the dogs. So this is just another centralized garbage. It's absolute crap. This shouldn't be looked at all. And it's free and open market. If you want to buy it, more power to you, but it's complete garbage. So the next one is from, I was kind of doing something very similar to Simply Bitcoin. They're a YouTube channel and they're on Twitter. They're a great account. They're criminally underfollowed if you're only Bitcoin. CoinCarious is one of the hosts. So I remember, and this was from Retweet or Pedro. Bitcoiners, never enter your seed phrase into an online device. Shitcoiners, if you can't secure your seed phrase effectively, just log into Google. And he proceeds to show Nader al-Naji. For those who don't know, Nader al-Naji was in kind of, I don't want to say a criminal thing, but he started BitClout, I think in either 2019 or 2020. BitClout was supposed to be, Bitcoin, where they're trying to like piggyback off Bitcoin, and they were trying to say like, oh, BitClout. It's like Twitter, but like you get clout by like how many people follow you or how many people are mentioned. So what the guy did, he mirrored Twitter's algorithm, Twitter's algorithm or something like that. So that way the people with the most followers, I think Elon Musk has like multiple millions technically an account. And basically what he did was, if you're like Elon Musk or the president or whoever, he basically gave you more money or more of the shit coins compared to if it was just me. I would have a count of 0 or very fractional, like maybe a few cents, if anything, on my account. And by promoting BitClout, being like, oh, look, I have to tweet about on Twitter, oh, look, my BitClout account, I have, $5 or a few cents or whatever. He was hoping for the big heavy hitters to say, oh, I'm using BitClout. Basically, this is great. You should get on it too. To try and drive the masses to BitClout and then basically rug pull them. So then once all the people start showing up, all these big influencers or people or whoever you want, they sell their BitClout and they dump on retail. So retail are buying the crypto while he like basically just took all his developer coins, gave them out to the masses. So anyway, that project horribly failed. A lot of the Bitcoiners were calling people out. I know Breedlove came into the line of fire of many Bitcoiners, and I think rightfully so, for basically he like tweeted it and kind of got it, and then he redeemed it, and then he kind of doubled down and said, this is what it's for. This is what I want to do to get money because it's free money. But free money at a cost. He was kind of in a way scamming people. He claims that after claiming him, I think Robert Breedlove had maybe 100,000 or 50,000 because he has a pretty big following on Twitter. He said that he donated it all to cleanse his sins and give it to Bitcoin development. I never saw the transaction fee and I never saw him do it. I will give him benefit of the doubt, even though I'm cautious of what he has done in the past. I think Breedlove has done a lot of good content in the past, and you can appreciate people that have now strayed away from Bitcoin. Like, yeah, I hate even saying this, but like Taleb, I've learned a lot from, even though he's a full gone, went insane. Even Trace Mayer, who kind of went the Nimble Wimble coin or whatever, and he went away. But there's a lot of great people in the space that have done great work, but then ultimately went down shitcoiners. So, this is really where it comes, using your own logic, your own thinking, and not being told, oh, this is what you should do, or this is what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's what you determine it to be, what you find it to be. And, right now I see it as Bitcoin Core and the original Bitcoin, not any of the hard forks or the soft forks or not any of the hard forks that have forked off of it since it's come in kind of the ICO phase. So basically, that's the background for it. So Nader al-Naji, raw seed phrases are not going to make it for mainstream. When DSO, so he's launching, DSO is for decentralized social. When DSO launched, it was it supported the ability to log in with a seed phrase. What happened? 10% of people lost their seed immediately, losing all funds. Most of these people put it somewhere like an iCloud notes or email. Instead of yelling at the users to be better, we did something radical. We made our wallet better instead. Log into DSO app like diamondapp.com and you will see log in with Google. You still use a seed phrase, but it backs up securely to your Google Drive. And this is just such a load of crap because Google gets hacked all the time. No, I won't say all the time. Google gets hacked. Facebook gets hacked. Banks get hacked. You name it. Why would you give the power to generational wealth to someone like, even if it wasn't malicious intent, a developer at Google could confiscate all of the wealth in the world by being like, just taking down seed phrases and withdrawing all the Bitcoin from their accounts. I think this is very disingenuous. Yeah, it requires you to be stronger and better. Yes, I hope apps or hot wallets or cold wallets get easier and better to use, but we're already seeing that over time. That's the case. So many improvements, such as Seed Signer, such as Cold Card, such as all these things. Yeah, some of them are more difficult, but yet level up your security, level up your thinking, level up your uses of Bitcoin. And by learning and using these things, you will get better. Instead of always being like, the state helped me, oh, the bank helped me, oh, the company helped me. I just think this is very disingenuous, and scammers keep scamming. once a scammer, always a scammer. So I think it's very disingenuous. And, like I said, if you want to invest in this, good for you, but it's just another rug pull. He's going to dump it to you just like he did with BitClout. He doesn't care about BitClout. He left BitClout. He stopped doing BitClout stuff. Why would this be different? So very disingenuous. And then the last one, we'll give it up to Jack Dorsey. He's kind of, many of the Bitcoiners have fallen in love with Jack. I keep going back and forth. I like him. I don't like him. I go back and forth. And, I'm definitely on the fence of liking Jack, defending Bitcoin core developers by coming up with the Bitcoin Defense Fund in order to give developers defense against people that have malicious intent that are trying to sue developers because it's open source, or even just, leaving Twitter to go start his own thing, or to basically run Spiral or Square or Block. And I give him a lot of props for what he's doing. He ultimately ended up leaving Twitter, what was his baby, and made him a billionaire, now to work on Bitcoin because he sees it as the most important thing in the world. And his tweet just reads, the amount of attention the WEF, or World Economic Forum, receives is inversely proportional to the org's usefulness. And then he puts in quotes, or in parentheses, it's useless. So he's basically making fun of the World Economic Forum. And basically, they're trying to enslave the masses. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Klaus Schwab literally wrote a book called COVID, The Great Reset, and talks about, how we need to be more equitable. We need to be more fair. But basically, he's also the same guy that says, you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. He'll own everything and you rent from him. Oh, and then he'll keep raising rates as rent keeps going more and more and more, and you don't own it. Oh, but you're going to be happy when you're working the slave encampment. You'll be happy when you're mining for whatever lithium on his slave encampments. They're literally talking about enslaving people. It's not if, it's when. And these are the people we're going against. Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, the Rothschilds. Like it's all, they're not even hiding it anymore. It's in plain sight. That's the funny thing. So thanks for listening to today, guys. I still think Bitcoin's so important. It's really truly the last frontier, to fight for freedom, for individual rights, for your right to privacy, your right to do what you want with your body, your right to do with your money, the right to do with whatever, your equity, your person, your being, your place. It's insane. It's literally absurd. This is going to be a very difficult fight. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I love to see you guys at the Bitcoin conference. Obviously, you can go to b.tc /conference. Use promo code YTMAG. Conference tickets are going up in price. That's 21% off using YTMAG as the code. We only have till the end of January because our boss found out that we gave away 21% instead of 10%. He's going to let it fly because we are selling tickets with it. But at the end of the month, the discount will go away and prices will also go up. So definitely get your tickets. Very important. Love to see you there. So many great Bitcoiners. Preston Pish, I know I brought him up countless times on this podcast. Huge inspiration for me for starting this podcast and for doing what he does and doing this. And yeah, I'd love to see you there. It's going to be a great time. Like I said, April 6th through the 9th in Miami, Florida. It's going to be a blast. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm really excited for the guests that I'm going to have in the coming weeks. Next week, there's going to be a really big guest, and the following week as well. So a lot of really cool stuff coming your way. And until next week, have a good one, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.